Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought to yourself, when did I start looking this tired? Maybe you notice more wrinkles than you remember, or perhaps you just feel older inside, even on days when you're not doing much. The truth is, aging is something we all go through, but the surprising part is how much of it is within our control. What we eat plays a bigger role than many people realize, especially after 60. Some foods can either slow the clock down or speed it up faster than we'd like. Now I want you to pause for a moment and think about how you feel after certain meals. Have you ever had a greasy dinner and then felt sluggish, bloated, or even achy the next day? Or maybe after eating something sweet, you noticed an energy crash that left you drained. That's not just getting older. That's your body telling you it doesn't like what you fed it. And over time, those choices stack up, leaving marks not only on the inside, on your heart, brain, and joints, but also on the outside, in the way your skin looks and how your body carries itself. The good news is, you're not powerless. In fact, you can take control today by learning which foods are secretly making you age faster, and most importantly, how to replace them with better choices that still taste great. This isn't about dieting or cutting out everything you enjoy. It's about making smart swaps that keep you feeling strong, sharp, and vibrant at any age. Let's start with one of the biggest culprits, something most of us grew up eating and maybe still reach for without even thinking. I'm talking about processed meats. Things like hot dogs, bacon, sausages, and deli meats might be convenient and full of flavor, but they're packed with preservatives, sodium, and unhealthy fats that speed up the aging process. Think of your arteries as flexible rubber tubes. Over time, processed meats stiffen and clog them, making your heart work harder than it should. Not only does this raise your risk of heart problems, but it also shows up in how you feel, slower, heavier, and more tired. I've spoken to people who cut down on processed meats in their 60s and replaced them with grilled chicken, turkey, or even beans. And within just weeks, they noticed a difference in their energy. Their digestion improved, their skin started to look less puffy, and they felt lighter. Imagine giving your body less of a burden to carry. Instead of forcing it to battle preservatives and chemicals, you're fueling it with nutrients it can actually use. That's the kind of change that adds years to your life and life to your years. Now let's talk about something sweet, because I know a lot of us enjoy a treat now and then. But here's the thing, refined sugar is one of the fastest ways to age your body inside and out. I don't just mean the sugar in candy bars or cakes, but also in sodas, packaged snacks, and even hidden in so-called healthy foods like flavored yogurt. Every time you load up on sugar, it spikes your blood sugar levels, which creates inflammation. And inflammation is like rust in your body. It wears down your cells, weakens your immune system, and even breaks down the collagen in your skin, making wrinkles appear faster. You've probably heard the phrase sugar high, but what comes after that high is the real problem, the crash. That crash doesn't just make you tired, it stresses your body's systems and over time contributes to conditions like diabetes, heart disease, and memory problems. I know it's not easy to give up sweets completely, and the good news is you don't have to. Nature gave us plenty of healthier options. Fresh fruit, for example, satisfies your sweet tooth while providing fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants that actually slow down aging instead of speeding it up. Berries, apples, and even a piece of dark chocolate in moderation can feel like a treat without the damage of refined sugar. I'll tell you a little story. A woman I know in her mid-60s used to have dessert every night, usually cookies or ice cream. She always complained about low energy and joint pain. When she finally cut back and started having fruit instead, not only did her energy levels improve, but within a couple of months she noticed her skin looked brighter. People even started asking if she was doing something new with her skincare routine. The secret wasn't in a cream or lotion. It was in what she stopped putting on her plate. The thing about these first two foods, processed meats and refined sugar is that they sneak into our routines without us realizing how much damage they're causing. They taste good, they're easy, and they're comforting. But over time, they rob us of the very things we value most in this stage of life: energy, independence, and the ability to enjoy time with the people we love. And that's why making small changes matters so much. Every step you take toward reducing these foods is a step toward protecting your heart, your brain, and your skin. The next food I want to talk about might surprise you, because on the surface, it doesn't always look dangerous. In fact, it often hides behind fancy packaging, bright colors, and promises like low fat or made with whole grains. I'm talking about refined carbs. Things like white bread, pastries, crackers, and even many breakfast cereals fall into this category. When you eat refined carbs, your body treats them almost the same way it treats sugar. They break down quickly, causing your blood sugar to spike and crash, which puts stress on your system. Over time, that repeated stress accelerates aging by fueling inflammation, draining your energy, and weakening your body's ability to regulate itself. What makes it worse is that refined carbs usually don't come with much nutrition. You're left with empty calories that fill you up for a short time, but leave your cells starving for what they really need: vitamins, minerals, and fiber. Think of your body like a car. Refined carbs are like low-quality gas that burns up too quickly and clogs your engine. Whole grains, on the other hand, are like premium fuel that keeps everything running smoothly for miles and miles. When seniors swap out white bread for whole grain bread or oatmeal instead of sugary cereal, they often notice a big difference in energy levels. Meals last longer, cravings go down, and there's a steadier sense of strength throughout the day. I once spoke with a gentleman in his early 70s who made one simple change. He switched from white rice to brown rice. At first, he didn't notice much difference, but after a couple of months, he said he no longer felt that afternoon slump that used to send him straight to the couch. His digestion improved, and even his doctor told him his blood pressure looked better. That's the kind of ripple effect small swaps can have when you feed your body the right fuel. Now, let's move on to something that's become a favorite for many people because it's quick and convenient: fried foods. Whether it's fried chicken, French fries, onion rings, or even fried snacks like chips, these foods might be comforting, but they're rough on your body. When food is fried in oil, especially cheap oils used in fast food or packaged snacks, it produces compounds that damage your cells. It's almost like pouring sludge into your system. The unhealthy fats in fried foods not only contribute to clogged arteries and heart problems, but they also break down collagen in your skin, leading to wrinkles and sagging. Another issue is that fried foods are addictive. The crispy texture and salty flavor light up the pleasure centers in your brain, which makes it easy to overeat. But every time you do, you're feeding your body harmful trans fats and inflammation that speed up the aging process. Have you ever noticed how you feel after eating something fried? Bloated, heavy, maybe even achy in your joints? That's your body's way of telling you it's struggling to process what you just gave it. Here's a simple example. Imagine you go out for a meal and you have a grilled piece of salmon with vegetables compared to a basket of fried chicken with fries. Both will fill you up, but the grilled salmon gives your body omega-3 fatty acids that reduce inflammation and protect your brain and heart, while the fried chicken leaves behind unhealthy fats that your body has to fight against. Over time, those choices add up, and they're written all over your health and appearance. The good news is, you don't have to give up crispy textures or comfort food completely. There are healthier ways to enjoy them. Using an air fryer, baking instead of frying, or experimenting with spices can give you that satisfying crunch without drowning your food in oil. I've seen people light up with joy when they realize they can still enjoy fried vegetables or chicken made in an air fryer, and it tastes just as good without the heavy, greasy after effects. Now, while we're talking about oils and fats, it's important to address another food that sneaks into almost everything: margarine and certain vegetable oils. For years, margarine was advertised as a healthier alternative to butter, but the truth is, many brands contain trans fats that wreak havoc on your health. Trans fats are some of the most damaging fats you can consume because they not only increase bad cholesterol, but also lower good cholesterol, creating the perfect storm for heart disease. Beyond the heart, these fats speed up aging in other ways. They damage the flexibility of your cell membranes, making it harder for your body to function at its best. They also promote inflammation, which, as we've mentioned, is at the core of most age-related issues, from arthritis to memory decline. And yes, they even affect your skin. When your body is overloaded with unhealthy fats, your skin loses elasticity and moisture, leading to dryness and more visible wrinkles. I remember a woman in her late 60s who always used margarine because she thought it was the healthier choice. When she switched to healthier fats, like olive oil and avocado, she said her skin didn't feel as dry and her digestion improved. It was a simple change, but one that gave her more confidence and comfort in her own body. Now, I'm not saying you need to eliminate every drop of oil or fat from your life. Quite the opposite. Your body actually needs healthy fats to thrive. Olive oil, avocados, nuts, and fatty fish are excellent sources that nourish your body, keep your brain sharp, and help you absorb important vitamins. The key is knowing which fats support your health and which ones quietly work against it. So far, we've talked about refined carbs that act like sugar in disguise, fried foods that damage your cells and your skin, and margarine with unhealthy oils that accelerate aging from the inside out. When you start to notice how these foods affect not just your health, but also how you look and feel every day, the choice becomes clearer. You're not depriving yourself. You're giving your body a gift, the gift of aging with strength and grace. Another type of food that seems innocent at first but can work against you as you age is anything loaded with excess salt. Salt is one of those ingredients that sneaks into nearly everything: soups, canned goods, sauces, and of course, snacks like chips and pretzels. A little bit of salt is necessary for your body, but too much becomes a real problem. After 60, your kidneys don't filter as efficiently as they used to, and that means the extra sodium lingers in your system. What does that do? It pulls water into your bloodstream, raising your blood pressure, putting strain on your heart, and even causing swelling in your ankles and hands. But the part many people overlook is how salt affects the way you look and feel day to day. Ever notice waking up with puffy eyes or a bloated stomach after a salty dinner? That's not just uncomfortable, it's your body signaling that it's holding on to water. Over time, excess sodium also dehydrates your skin, making fine lines and wrinkles more noticeable. So while a salty snack might feel satisfying in the moment, it can leave behind a long list of problems. The solution doesn't have to mean bland food. Herbs and spices like garlic, rosemary, turmeric, and even a squeeze of lemon can bring meals to life without drowning them in salt. I've heard countless stories of people who slowly reduced their salt intake and were amazed by how their taste buds adjusted. Foods they once thought were plain suddenly tasted more vibrant because their senses came alive again. Imagine enjoying your meals just as much, if not more, while giving your heart and skin a real boost. Now let's talk about something that has become almost unavoidable in modern life: highly processed packaged foods. I'm referring to things like instant noodles, frozen dinners, packaged pastries, and snack bars that are more chemicals than actual food. These products are designed to be convenient, but convenience often comes at a cost. They're usually packed with preservatives, artificial flavors, added sugars, and unhealthy fats. Each bite might fill you up, but it's not nourishing your body, it's tricking it. The long-term effect of relying on packaged foods is that your body is constantly trying to filter out what doesn't belong. that constant effort causes inflammation, weakens your immune system, and accelerates aging from the inside. And because these foods rarely provide the nutrients your body needs, you're left with deficiencies that show up in your energy levels, your mood, and even your memory. I once knew a man in his late 60s who ate frozen dinners almost every night because he lived alone and didn't like cooking. Over the years, he noticed more stiffness in his joints and felt constantly tired. When he finally decided to start cooking simple meals, nothing fancy, just grilled fish, vegetables, and some brown rice, he was shocked at how much better he felt within just a few weeks. His energy improved, his digestion calmed down, and he said he even felt clearer in his thinking. That's the power of giving your body real, whole food instead of processed shortcuts. Finally, there's one more category of drinks that deserves special mention because it's often overlooked: sugary beverages. Sodas, energy drinks, and even some fruit juices loaded with added sugar are some of the quickest ways to accelerate aging. Just like refined sugar and refined carbs, these drinks spike your blood sugar and fuel inflammation. But they're even more damaging because they don't fill you up. They just pour straight into your system, delivering a rush of sugar without any fiber or nutrients to slow it down. Sugary drinks don't just affect your waistline, they hit your organs hard. They stress your liver, increase your risk of diabetes, and sap your energy. And just like with sugar in food, they break down the collagen in your skin, making you look older than you are. The problem is, these drinks are marketed as refreshing or energizing, but in reality, they leave you more tired and dehydrated. The simple switch here is water, herbal tea, or even sparkling water with a squeeze of lemon or lime. I know water might sound boring compared to soda, but once you make the change, you'll be amazed at how much better your body feels. Your skin becomes more hydrated, your digestion improves, and your energy feels steadier throughout the day. I've met seniors who completely cut out soda and told me within a month they felt 10 years younger. Imagine that, a simple change that helps you reclaim years of vitality. So when we put all of this together, processed meats, refined sugar, refined carbs, fried foods, margarine and unhealthy oils, excess salt packaged, processed foods, and sugary drinks, it becomes clear that the fastest way to age your body is by constantly feeding it things it doesn't know how to handle. But here's the most important part. Avoiding these foods isn't about restriction, it's about freedom. Freedom from sluggish days, freedom from joint pain, freedom from the worry of illness stealing your independence. Every choice you make is a chance to give your body what it deserves. And even if you've spent years eating some of these foods, it's never too late to change. The body is amazingly forgiving. With just a few small steps, choosing water over soda, picking whole grains over refined carbs, swapping fried foods for grilled, you'll start to notice the difference. Your energy lifts, your mind sharpens, and you look in the mirror and see someone who still has so much life ahead. And remember, this isn't about being perfect. No one eats perfectly all the time. It's about balance, about making better choices more often than not, and giving yourself the gift of health. When you do that, you're not just adding years to your life, you're adding life to your years. So as you think about your next meal, ask yourself, is this going to help me feel younger, stronger, and more vibrant, or is it going to steal that from me? You have the power to choose. And with every better choice, you're proving to yourself and to the people who love you that life after 60 can be full of energy, joy, and vitality. If you found this helpful, I'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments. Maybe tell me one food you're planning to cut back on starting today. Don't forget to like this video if it inspired you and subscribe to the channel for more simple, practical tips to help you live your best life at any age. Here's to you, to your health, and to all the amazing years still ahead. Remember, growing older is a privilege, but how you age, that's up to you.